friends, I'm Melissa and I'm back with another reading vlog. This is the beginning of a new vlog, yeah, that's what I want to say. And my reasons for starting a vlog is because I have some books that I've been thinking about reading together because they are similar, apparently. First up we have Lightfall by Ed Crocker. This is a debut novel. It came out in January and it's a vampire fantasy book, dark fantasy. And it says on the back here that it is also recommended for, no, I don't think that was where it was here. Yeah, it's for fans of J. Kristoff's Empire of the Vampire and Richard Swan's The Justice of Kings. I didn't get The Justice of Kings. I will have to revisit that later if I like these. But I do have Empire of the Vampire by J. Kristoff as well. So this one will be sort of an immersion read where I have an audio going alongside it. I don't have that with Lightfall. So Lightfall I'll be reading in its entirety just myself, and I will be starting it today. It's Easter break, so I hope that I'll get a lot of reading in, but I never know about this. I don't know how much I get in up to over the days, but I definitely know I do have some time to read every day, so we'll try and see if I can't get some reading in. And I'm starting with this one. It's actually not super long, this one. I think it's less than 400 actually. It's 65 pages, so it shouldn't take too much time, but I hope that it's a good one. So I'll get started with this. The book without a dust jacket is just pure red, which is fitting considering vampires and blood and stuff. But I will get started with reading this, and then I'll let you know once I've started and what my thoughts are so far. Obviously I can't talk about similarities yet. I won't be able to do that until I get to J. Kristoff, but I decided to start out with this one to give, because it's new and because it's shortest, it'll probably be easiest to get through, and then Empire of the Vampire I will start at once I'm done. And it's longer. I think the audio is 16-17 hours. It's over 700 pages, but the text is relatively large. Hold on, I'll just check what the audio length is. Sorry, it's not 17 hours, it's 27 hours. So in my speed, it's about 15 hours. 13 and a half. 13 and a half hours of listening time. Because I read in double speed when I listen to audios. So yeah, anyway, this was my update for now. I will check in once I've read something and let you know my thoughts so far. And hopefully it's a fast read. I will sit down and read for like 45 minutes at first, and then maybe check in and let you know how I'm doing. So yeah, this is my update. See ya. Hello friends, it is now Monday. I cannot figure out the days when I have the days off, and I am 98, so almost 100 pages into Lightfall by Ed Crocker. I thought it was an appropriate time to sort of check in with a reading update. So what can I say so far? I haven't really read anything like this before, because when I've read vampire stuff before, but obviously they have been more paranormal romance or urban fantasy like, so it's set in our world with vampires. But this one is a fantastical world where we have all of these mythical creatures. So they're very different in that way, and in that way I don't have a lot of things to compare it to. But if I think about some fantasy books that I could compare the political stuff to, I'm sort of thinking of, it's set in a place called what's it called? First Light. That's apparently the city's called what it's called. So we are following multiple perspectives. That's also new for me when it comes to this type of genre, but it doesn't matter. We are following multiple perspectives. We are following, obviously it says so on the back in the synopsis, we're following this girl called Samantha. She is a maid, and she discovers something on her when she's cleaning one of the rooms. She finds out a clue as to what why he was possibly murdered, And she obviously thinks there's more to it and wants to do something about it, because she sees it as sort of her ticket to a better life. She's an orphan, and she was she saw her father being attacked, and just after that her mother, in grief, took her own life, and then left her sort of, and her sister. And the sister, she was also, yeah, she's also dead. She was left, yeah, had a punishment of some kind, or she was definitely burned in the sun, and so she's left. And we're also following it from the First Lord's perspective, who is the leader of the vampires, and we are following it from a person called Sage, who is part of the Grey Guard. Is that what it's called? Who had was sort of had an acquaintance with the guy who was murdered. And then we have a couple of other people that we have sort of been following now, and I'm not sure how important they're going to be to the plot. I feel like some of them we've only seen from their perspective once, and I don't know if it's going to continue, whereas Sam and Sage and Lord Asuri, the First Lord, he we've also seen it from his perspective like 3 times or something over the first 100 pages. So it definitely, I feel like those 3 are the main characters and main focus points. But we'll see if there's going to be more as time progresses. There's something going on outside of the city's walls, and there's people aren't able to escape at this point, and you don't know actually why. And then what is weird about it is that the guy who's murdered was found outside of the wall, so he might have found a clue as to who it was, and that's sort of the mystery of it all. And Sam, who it also said in the synopsis, she's finds out there's this secret group called the Leeches, who are sort of a rebellious group, and she's become part of that now. So it's definitely interesting. I'm not loving it, but I'm definitely very intrigued. And it took some getting used to, but I'm invested, sort of invested in it now, and will let you know how I'm doing with the next part. But I'm happy I've started it, and I'm happy I'm enjoying it for now. Yeah, we'll let you know more once I am further in. Also, I said that I haven't really read anything that's like this. So when I thought about doing this video, I thought about just reading all the vampire books. Also, sort of, I have a Chicagoland vampire book, and I have a Sunshine by, but I figured it was way too many books at once, and I thought cramming it down to these 2, also because they're both fantasy set with vampires, so they are similar in that way, and I thought it could be interesting seeing how it is going to be. And yeah, so that's my update for now. I will check in again later once I have more to say, and yeah, hopefully it's gonna stay good and interesting. So hello friends, it is the 17th of April. It is Thursday, and I wanted to check in because I still haven't finished this one, but I'm about halfway through it. I didn't have much reading time yesterday and the day before, so I haven't really read much since Monday. But yesterday I think I managed to read 39 pages, so for about an hour and something. I don't read this super fast, but I am still enjoying it, so I'm definitely still interested in reading it, and I'm still thinking about picking it up. It's just I haven't been able to. Yesterday I didn't have very much. I thought I would have more B-roll, but I don't. I went on Tuesday. I had my parents and my sister over for dinner, so, and I had a lot of errands to do that day. I listened to a lot of audio, but that wasn't this one. So I had to go to sort of the renovation center. I went grocery shopping for that, and a little bit of cleaning, and then preparing food, and then a little bit, and I was just relaxing and watching some YouTube videos. And yesterday I did read something, but I had to go to my brother to visit him. We went out for sort of a dinner, a fancy dinner, me and my brother and my sister. It was I think it's a relatively new restaurant. I'm not sure. I haven't been there. None of us had been there before. They were brand new. They were brand new locations. I don't think they're new, but they've only been there for like a couple of weeks or something like that, because it's a brand new building and it's still actually being renovated and finishing touches and stuff on the ground floor. So it's a little bit weird, but we had really good food. We got a 7-course meal plus snacks, and there were apparently 4 snacks. Then we got a drink and bubbly champagne, like bubbly water, but bubbly thing. But it wasn't champagne because it wasn't like from the area champagne, but it was a sort of bubbly thing. And so we got that. We got a snack with a Tom Collins drink. Then we got 3 snacks with champagne, like bubbles, but they weren't from champagne, they were from England apparently, don't know. And then we got 1st course meal with white wine. We had 3 different types. And then we got main course with red wine, 3 different types things, and 1 dessert with a dessert wine. And then we got coffee and chocolate. So, and we got that, like, it might sound like a lot, but we got that for like 1,000 kroners, which is a lot if you're not used to eating fine dining, but it's not a lot. You got a lot of food for the money's worth, I think. I'm trying to sort of compare it to other things that I've been to recently. A couple of weeks ago we went eating fine dining in our city, and we paid 1,600, but it was only a 5-course meal plus snacks. And we did, so I think we got a lot more out of this one. And it was not that it was a bad quality or anything, it was all really good, so happy about that. But then obviously I slept over there because I couldn't drive home. My brother lives in Aarhus, which is like an hour and a half's drive away, and so we slept over at his place, me and my sister. And then today we drove back, and now I'm just sitting here relaxing, and I haven't picked up the book yet, and it's 2:30. But I want to try and see if I can finish this one today, because I don't have anything else to do today. I just can relax and read, and then hopefully tomorrow I can start on Empire of the Vampire. But tomorrow I have to go for an Easter lunch at my sister's, so the next coming days are gonna be quite busy, but I don't have anything else to do, so I should also have reading time every day. I need to do some laundry at some point, but that's not a constant thing I have to do anyway, so it's okay. But so this book right now, we're following more perspectives, but I'm liking it. I understand why we need so many different point of views, and there's a lot of things going on, and you don't really know what's going to happen, so I am intrigued. I don't know where this is gonna go, but I prefer, I have 2 point of views. I do like Sam's point of views, but I also really like Sage, and then there's a point of view from Jacob that was pretty recent. I liked his character a little bit as well, so looking forward to seeing what will happen. Yeah, I'm on page 178, just about halfway, and it's 365 yeah. So I'm gonna go start and read, and we'll let you know more once I'm further, and see ya. Hello friends, it is now 10 p.m. and I finished the book. I gave it 3 stars. There are some things that definitely worked okay for me, and there are other things that didn't really work for me. I don't know. There was just something about the pacing when it came down to it, and the characters. There are a couple of character deaths or whatever happened that should have gotten a sort of response from me in some way, but it didn't, because I didn't feel super connected to the characters when it came down to that, and I really don't know what to say about that. So yeah, I had hoped for more, but it didn't super deliver. There were a couple of typo mistakes, and where words were in the wrong order and stuff, and I feel like this is not self-published. It's by St. Martin's Press, which is a big publishing house, so I find that weird that wasn't caught in the editing process. So that was a little bit jarring as well. And there were some places where you could see that it was a debut, but otherwise it was still good and it was still decent. But I gave it 3 stars, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be continuing. I'm definitely not gonna be buying the next one. If I continue, it'll be because I get an access to it from the library or something like that. I don't think I'm gonna buy a physical copy for sure. So yeah, but it definitely ended with quite a cliffhanger type ending. So yeah. Anyway, this is my update for now. I will check in tomorrow when I'm starting on Empire of the Vampire. Right now I'm gonna see if I can get to some editing. I need to edit a video, but I don't know if I have the mind capacity for that now, or if I had to wait until tomorrow to do that. But I'm happy to say that at least things have been okay. It's not the worst book I've read. It's not terrible in any way. So that's my update. See ya. Hello friends, it is Friday. Good Friday. Happy Easter if you are celebrating. I wanted to check in because I have started on Empire of the Vampire. It's so floppy, it's difficult to hold it up. But I have read the first part of Empire of the Vampire. It means that I'm about 100 pages into it. It is apparently divided into parts, and it will fulfill my prompt on my bingo, our fantasy bingo. There's a prompt where you have to read books that is divided into sections, and it has to be more than 4. And I know there's at least 5 I checked, so this will cover that in hard mode. Anyway, as I said, I am 100 pages into it now. I'm listening to the audio, and it's in audio time. I've listened to 2 hours, so I have 11 hours left in this speed. So far I'm enjoying this one a lot more than the other one. It's a different vibe, so if I'm comparing it, I think it's a bit of the disservice to the other book, or to this book actually. But I know it's because it will sell books, because this is a very popular book in the vampire fantasy genre. but calling it the same is not fair. Not to this book and not to the other book. The other book was very different structured. It had multiple POVs as well, and this one doesn't. This one is told from our main character Gabriel, and Gabriel is telling his story to this man. He's called, hold on, I think he is a monster. He's telling his story to this guy called Jean-Francois. I cannot pronounce the names correctly. The audio narrator is very good at it. It's all French names and stuff. And I wouldn't have known how to pronounce them if I was reading them anyway. But it's told from he's telling the story. So it's sort of, the writing style is similar to the King Kellen Chronicles. It's like him telling a story of how he is where he is. It's something to do with the Grail and stuff like that. And he is sort of half a vampire, half human, and it's part of this thing that that protects the lands from the vampires, the pure blood vampires or whatever. And I don't know what's happened, but it's sort of, yeah, after some big events, and he's been captured and has to tell his story. And so far, very much enjoying the vibe, very much enjoying the characters so far. So definitely a good start so far. There's also like images throughout, so I'm very happy I'm sort of immersion reading it and not just doing things, because seeing all of the images on the way definitely gives something more to it. Hold on. The first image is this, and it's apparently our main character, Gabriel. This is also him, but he has like filled with tattoos and stuff. So, parts of his persona, I think. But yeah, very dramatic start to how he finds out he's half a vampire, because he doesn't know until like he's in his teens, 18. And yeah, his mother and father has never told him there's a possibility that this could happen. So yeah, but as I said, he was picked out to be part of this group of people protecting from the vampires. So yeah, happy to have started this. I will check in again once I have more to say, because it's difficult talking about this when, I mean, I've read the first 100 pages and I've definitely had an interesting an idea of what it's about, but there's a lot of things that obviously I don't know at this point, and I don't know how to talk about it. And I don't want to spoil things either, so it's always difficult talking about them. But so far I'm definitely enjoying this one a lot more than the other one. So this is good potential so far. We'll see how it goes as it continues. I've just went and looked at Goodreads, and Lightfall book has like a 3.5 rating, so people don't seem to super love it. There are people who obviously really enjoys it, but the most people I've seen have sort of lower ratings, and I understand some of their reasonings behind them. So I don't think this is one that's gonna go so well, but the thing that's interesting about that one is that it's a different structure, there's a different vibe to it than this one. I still think it's worth the read, but for me it wasn't super well. There are some things that obviously he could have done better in terms of the book and in terms of the writing and stuff, and keeping me engaged throughout. And you can definitely tell that Kristoff has some books on his plate already. I think it's the, I don't know, I just saw but I'm enjoying this one. I will check in once I've read more, because I don't know what else to say right now. Today I spent the morning reading the majority of this, then I've been to an Easter lunch thing at my sister's, and was back home again at like 6:37-ish p.m. and I've edited a video, a vlog. I finally edited that, and then I have watched Trader Among Us. I don't know, is that, or is it just called Among Us? That show where you have sort of picked out some traders, they have to convince other people that who to sort of, they had to vote people out, then they are murdering people in the night. It's fun. It's fun time, good drama. And it's only the second episode, so the first time that they had the round table thing, and it's always fun to see how they're sort of trying to figure things out in the beginning. Last season was the first season where it was where it wasn't people that were already sort of slight celebrities, so people knew them already. But last season was only people no one knew them beforehand. They were just picked randomly and put together like that. But this one is a new season with sort of celebrities, different types of some are more known than others, obviously. And it's interesting seeing this because I like, last time everyone was just going on the train of just going after one person instead of trying to think for themselves, and they kept obviously voting out people that weren't traitors and loyals, and in this one it seems at least that people have sort of trying to get on with their own mind, sort of thinking for themselves and trying to come up with some things and not following a sort of train that other people have. Yeah, but anyway, this is my update, and I will talk to you later. This was my tangent, and yeah, so see ya, bye. Hello friends, it is now Monday, Easter Monday, the 21st of April, and I wanted to check in because I have made progress on Empire of the Vampire. I am now almost 300 pages in. I'm about to start part 4, and yeah, it's on page 291. So I made close to, I want to say around 40% into the book now. I'm very much enjoying it still. It's interesting. I am quite interested in what is going to happen with this. I still like Gabriel as our main character. I think he has a lot of interesting things about him that makes him an interesting character and protagonist, and especially considering it's told from his perspective, and you have that, you don't know if he's actually telling everything, and sometimes it's as if he's trying to sort of skip ahead of some things, but the sort of storyteller thing, the one who's writing his story, sort of caught him on that and say, hey, there's something here you didn't tell me, and then he has to sort of rewind back and continue where he left off, and I like that in the story. And we're definitely seeing interesting dark things happening. I think last time he was just sort of admitted to this place with the gray, what do we call it? Silver Saints. He finds out that he doesn't really have any vampire that big vampire that he's sort of related to, so he doesn't know who that is, and so he doesn't really have a name for himself in this vampire world either. So he's sort of trying to prove his worth, and yeah, things happen. And then there's this other guy, we don't really know there's something shifty with him, and then there's a couple of women here that I really like, Astrid and what was the other girl's name? I want to say something with N. No, Chloe, sorry. Astrid and Chloe, they have been are interesting so far as well. So looking forward to seeing what will happen. I still enjoy the images we get out throughout this. It's just beautiful, and I think I'm gonna sit down to read for like an hour. Listen, but I am sort of following along because I like it that way. I listened to, I think, 4 hours and 15 minutes, or was it 5 hours and 15 minutes? 5 hours and 15 minutes. So I have 8 hours left. So there's a while to go. But if I can listen to an hour now, before I'm going to be sort of relaxing and preparing food for dinner, it's 4 p.m. So I'm listening to an hour, and then I'm going to start thinking about what I'm getting for dinner and get into that. Then I might watch some YouTube stuff, maybe some TV stuff, and get like an hour more into it. That would be fine, because I still think that I get through quite a bit with that, because then I will have 7 hours left and something, and yeah, that will be better so that I can, I mean, I still have, I want to have this finished by the next weekend, hopefully. That's what I'm hoping for. So we'll see if that is manageable, but it depends on how much I listen over the week. But as long as I'm this invested and interested in what's going on, I don't think it's going to be a problem. I've had some busy days, that's why I'm not further, because the majority of yesterday I was at my parents' for like Easter dinner, and Saturday I was visiting my sister, my other sister, and Thursday, as you may, Friday was my other sister who invited us for Easter lunch. So I've had a lot of things the past couple of days, which is the norm. So it's only today that I haven't had too much, but then I've had to do stuff at home, like I've mowed the lawn again, and that took way more time than it should have, but it's because it's still sort of wet outside, but I needed to get it done because I don't know when I'm gonna get time to it over the week, and I don't know when it's gonna be sort of dry enough. So it took a while for me to get through that. And what else? And then I filmed a wrap-up video, and then I watched a TV documentary thing. So yeah, these are some of the things that I've been doing over the day, but right now I'm gonna sit and listen, and we'll let you know if I have more thoughts to bring you on this. Yeah. Hello friends, it is Wednesday the 30th of April, and I'm doing everything I can to finish off Empire of the Vampire before April is over, and I don't have very far left. I have less than an hour left. It's 9:30 and I have 53 minutes left, so yeah, I will finish it, and things are happening. I don't know what to say. It's been a long time since I checked in because I had duties and stuff, and I sometimes don't really know what to say when I have such a long book, and it takes a long time in between my sort of check-ins. But I have been enjoying this. It's probably, I don't think at this point it's going to be a 5 stars, but it's definitely going to be a high rating nonetheless. But it's not going to be, I don't think, on it. I mean, it depends on what's happening, but right now it doesn't feel like a 5-star read. And it's partly because there are, I think it might be a little tad too long for my taste, but I do like the fact that the way that it is told. There are some things that, you know, there's some predictability. I mean, you know that Gabriel himself, he can't die because he's telling the story. But on the other hand, you don't know what's happening to people around him, and if people are hurting him in other ways. And you know he's definitely very angry and doesn't like the world anymore. So he doesn't really, yeah. So you know a lot of things, a lot of terrible things has happened. So yeah, you get that story of it. And then I liked how he sort of switched timelines a little bit in how he was telling the story. There would be sometimes he would be in a present timeline, which is not present timeline, it can't be because he's telling the story, obviously. So that is the present time, but when he's telling the story of sort of the sort of quest thing he's on to find the Grail, then there are parts when he talks about his sort of time with the brother Silver Saints and stuff, and there is some sort of relationship stuff with his wife and his kid. And sort of that way it sort of jumps a little bit around in time, and how, and the different timelines, and how yeah, they're told, and I sort of like that. So that definitely made it interesting and not completely linear. But I am a little bit worried about what's going to happen next, because yeah, it's a little bit rough. It's been a little bit rough with the last couple of chapters, so definitely some reveals that were difficult to read. And so this is my update for that. I think I will film a clip of me reading it, the last bit, somehow, when I know I have time left, sort of, in order to sort of film my sort of reactions, and then we'll see how that goes and if that's going to be interesting. And then I'll check in with my final update afterwards. So yeah, it was just to let you know that I want to give you an update, and now I'm gonna go back to reading because I need to finish this. Hello friends, let's do a final update because I am now done with Empire of the Vampire by Kristoff. It's almost 10:30 now, so yeah. Lots of things happened over the past bit because, of course, there's a lot of things going on and some betrayals, and I'm definitely intrigued to read the next one. And I see that the third book is coming out soon. So that's good. I don't know if it's going to be a trilogy or if it's going to be more than a trilogy. So we'll see. But I am definitely invested in continuing with it. And I think I'm giving it 4.5 stars. It's not a full 5 stars. There are still things that I think could have been better, but I still think it's a really good book. So I think a 4.5 stars is a good rating for this book. And in terms of why I did this video in the first place, was sort of that Lightfall was sort of recommended for readers of this book. And if you have read this and you want to read Lightfall, I mean, you can read it, but it's definitely not the same at all. They don't have a lot of similarities, except that they're vampire stories set in a fantasy world that's not a romance necessarily. So yeah, the other one is a lot shorter, so you'll get through it faster. I definitely think this is a solid book, and I think that the characters are more, I mean, we see it obviously everything from Gabe's perspective. There's not a lot of, there's no other perspectives, obviously, because he's telling his story. And so you don't get to see, you see his opinions about people and the actions that they're doing, and you have to think that it's the right thing that he's doing. I generally tend to like multiple perspectives. But when I think this one, it's okay that it's not written that way, and it definitely gives off a different kind of tension to the book. Lots of heartache and hardships happening, and I think that's part of J. Kristoff's thing that he does in his books, because I've seen it when people are reading these other series, that he likes to sort of put his characters through a lot, and it's definitely been the case so far. So you have to be aware of that if you go into this, if that's not your thing, if you don't want this dark, difficult, and yeah, if you don't like that sort of thing, then probably consider not reading this. But if you don't mind that, then definitely I suggest you could try it. So yeah, this was my final clip for this vlog. I think I'll end it here. If you stuck to the end, thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read either of these books and what your thoughts were on them. And if you read both of them, what do you think? Do you agree with my thoughts? Let me know if you want to pick Lightfall up as well, because I definitely think it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And let me know if yeah, I've inspired you to pick up the Empire of the Vampire. That would be nice to know as well. Yeah, but thank you for watching. If you I will leave you now. If you like the video, like and subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye.